Eyo, Mtukazi hapa, Mtukazi Diaries. So a lot has been happening in the last 24 hours from the very sad situation where the Honorable MP for Emuradi killed person in a plane crash, to the bombardment of Iran, where it is now confirmed that the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran has passed on. So there has been a lot, happening. It's easy for somebody to comment on anything, but I still want to focus on the trending issue about the Kenyan passport, and I have mine here today. So the media has been awash with stories about Kenya issuing passport to persons that are not Kenyans and so forth. But we want in this episode that somebody who has been in this industry for over 20 years and as a professional, and to answer to your questions, I want us to answer about 3 questions. Number 1, what is a passport? And then number 2, who is entitled to a passport? And number 3, can a country issue a passport to non-citizen? Okay. So first, what is a passport? As lawyers, and when you look at the law, you start by saying a passport is a passport. But practically speaking, a passport is a travel document that is issued to citizens or persons of interest to a particular country in the name of the president who carry a passport. But have you ever really taken time to read on the first page, on the cover page, what it says? And let me read it for you. It says, East African Community, Republic of Kenya. These are to request and require in the name of the President of the Republic of Kenya, or those whom it may concern, to allow the bearer to pass freely without a let or hindrance, and to afford the bearer such assistance and protection as may be necessary. Now, important to notice, the president is the number 1 diplomat of the state. So therefore, the passport is normally issued in the name of the president, requesting other countries to allow the bearer of such a passport to transition and to be accorded courtesies as may be necessary. And number 2, the passport. While every citizen has the right to be granted a passport to facilitate their travel, the passport is the property of the state. Okay? It doesn't belong to you. The state can actually recall the passport. But having said that, a passport is a document that allows people to travel, citizens of a certain country or the bearer of the document, to travel across the borders and to enter certain countries and to be returnable to the countries that issued the passport. Now, the problem has been the claim that Kenyan passports have been issued to persons that are of questionable integrity, and that is unlawful. Truth be told, it is possible for states, and all states, including the Kenyan state, since independence, has been issuing passports to persons that are not Kenyan citizens with an intention of facilitating them to travel. These are what we call fungible passport. Fungible in the sense that the bearer is not intending to become a citizen, but the Kenyan state, for some particular reasons, affords the holder of that passport the courtesies to travel on the Kenyan passport. For instance, during the struggle for independence, many African countries were giving passport to persons who were freedom fighters to allow them to travel. Okay, even in Kenya here, the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga was facilitated to travel by Uganda and even Tanzania and many other countries. It is not, therefore, unheard of to say that people who are not Kenyans have been given passport. But the question is, who is being given this passport and who has the power to issue passport? As you have already seen, whereas the law, the Kenyan law, the constitution, and the Kenya Immigration and Citizenship Act provides for the procedures of who should be granted a passport, there's something called statecraft. Okay, statecraft is real politics and real, deep state management of affairs. So where Kenya, for instance, feels there's a person who is of benefit to the Kenyan interest, and they want to afford them the capacity to travel for some reason, the persons that are authorized, as you can see, for instance, if the president says person X need to be given a passport for some particular reason to travel as a Kenyan, okay? That can happen. Even some countries like America, for instance, you will find that there are people that are enlisted in the American army. You have seen most recently in the Russian army and many other armies, but they are not citizens, but they are fighting in the name of that country. They are again afforded passport to be able to travel. Important to distinguish is there's a passport which we are calling now, like this one of mine, is a byproduct of me being a Kenyan by birth, okay? But there is a person that is given a passport by the Kenyan state for special interest. That's what we are calling the fungible passport. The intention is not to confer citizenship to that person, but is to afford them courtesy to travel. Now, I don't want to be caught in the politics of it and the merit of who was given a passport or was not given, because even the way this story has been covered, I cannot with certainty say, confirm or deny that the passport have been issued. That is for other people to say. Mine in this episode is to indeed confirm that state, for whatever consideration and reasons, could be bad, could be good, could be clandestine, can confer fungible passport to people that are not citizens for the purposes of traveling. This is akin to what you find in maritime practice, where a ship or a vessel is flagged. When a vessel, not necessarily owned by Kenya, but flies a Kenyan flag, it is treated as a Kenyan vessel. And for all purpose and intent, in terms of consideration within the maritime law, will be considered to be a Kenyan flagged ship. It's the same. Somebody who is not Kenyan but has been given the document that is a Kenyan passport to allow them to travel, will be traveling on the Kenyan document but not necessarily being conferred a Kenyan citizenship. So the process of that fungible passport being conferred is not governed, is not provided for in law. It, in my view, would fall within what you would call the residual powers of the state or the statecraft to manage certain issues. So therefore, as again we keep saying, always keep it here to Kazi Diaries, because only here we speak to many, many things that you are not likely to find anywhere. Thank you. Cheers.